Let's see. Okay. All right. So this is restorative yoga, which to me is such a beautiful thing that you are joining in restorative yoga. I think it's kind of like the yummy dessert of yoga, and oftentimes we think, oh, we don't need dessert, you know, and really we do. And especially now in these challenging times, we really need to take as good of care of ourselves as possible. And of course that means being physical and having an active yoga practice or moving in any way that is your favorite way to move. But it also means taking time for the deeply nourishing, restorative, restful poses of yoga. They do more than you think. They really do heal us on a lot of levels. So I just have a little poem. One of my favorite books I've already read a couple times online from John O'Donohue's work. But one of the gifts of our yoga practice is to drop us into ourselves and drop us into our bodies, into the moment at hand, and find that presence that we need to notice the beauty around us and within us. So this is called For the Senses. May the touch of your skin register the beauty of the otherness that surrounds you. May your listening be attuned to the deeper silence where sound is honed to bring distance home. May the fragrance of a breathing meadow refresh your heart and remind you you are a child of the earth. And when you partake of food and drink, may your taste quicken to the gift and sweetness that flows from the earth. May your inner eye see through the surfaces that glean the real presence of everything that meets you. May your soul beautify the desires of your eyes, that you might glimpse the infinity that hides in the simple sights that seem worn to your usual eyes. And that's by John O'Donohue. All right, so come into your senses. Close your eyes so that you can feel the inner sight. Take a moment to find comfort in your body. Okay. And let's just notice, what are you hearing? Obviously you're hearing my voice, but what else? Is there any sounds outside your window or in your home? Or maybe you're listening to the sound of your breath. Can you give your eyes a retreat? So we spend so much of our time searching with the eyes, our primary sense for most of us. Can you let them rest now behind closed lids? Feel the bathing of your eyeballs, the softness, the soothing nature of resting the curtain over your eyes. Feeling the muscles behind your eyes find ease. And notice your sense of smell, the way you breathe. What does your breath smell like right now? Is there anything you can detect? And you don't have to go, mystery searching, but just notice. How does the breath feel traveling through your nose and through your sinuses? How's the temperature of your skin right below your nose as you inhale compared to when you exhale? Is your tongue resting in your mouth? Are the deep inner ears softening? Can you connect the deep sensation inside your ears with a soft jaw and a soft base of the skull? And we're just going to do, 3 or 4 breaths like this. This is called Satali breath. And being that the temperature is starting to rise outside for some of us, we're going to curl our tongue. If you don't have the genetic capacity to curl your tongue, then this one's out for you. So you just breathe naturally. But if you can, curl your tongue and take an inhale through your mouth, through your curled tongue. Breathe out, gently relaxing your tongue. You can breathe through your nose. And do that a few times and just notice the cool refreshment in your lungs. See if you can get the cool refreshment to travel all through your lung fields. Kind of like the sensation of drinking a cold glass of water to your belly. Let this be the cold glass of air to your lungs. Maybe try just one more. You don't want to do too many of these in a row typically. It's a lot of mouth breathing, but just notice that cool, refreshing feeling. And just notice, stay with the sensation inside your lungs, the cooling sensation inside your lungs. Move into the senses of your skin as well. Drape your skin through your body. Notice the temperature. Notice your clothing where it touches your skin. And then place your palms together at your heart and bow in. Drop your head, soften, and create an intention. What needs healing within you? What needs nurturing? Some restoration, some energy to fill the tanks. And then let's release the hands and come onto our back. Okay, so lie down on the floor. If you have all your random yoga props that you've gathered up through your house, have them close by. Okay, we're just going to start on our back. Make sure you have a strap of some kind next to you. All right, so lie down. Take a breath. Stretch your arms over your head on the floor. Stretch your legs. And just enjoy. Maybe your body yawn. Maybe it's been a long day for you. Maybe you're not sleeping as good as you sometimes do. Just notice what your body's asking for. And then stretch the right side a little longer, the left side a little bit longer, letting your hips and shoulders move, waking up the rims of your body. And then release your hands. Now, if you can cactus your hands, turn them like goal posts, okay, like your head's the football going through the goal posts of your arms. And if you're hanging, like if your hands don't easily come to the floor, you can just walk your hands outward more until your hands are resting on the floor. So it doesn't have to be right angles. It can be less than that. And just take a moment to enjoy an open heart, open chest. For some people, this might feel like a big stretch. For others, it may feel like not a stretch. Whatever is your sensation, just be present for it. Allow your breath to travel deeply into your lungs. Feel your diaphragm loosen its grips so it can breathe for you well. Let the floor support and hold you. See what it would feel like to rest the heart in the pillow of your lungs. Just notice, is there some place that's holding tension? Can you consciously bring your awareness? Before we even move anything, can you just drop into rest and softness? All right, and let's go ahead and bend our knees now. Bring our knees all the way up to our chest and rock around a little bit. Find some movement left and right. Kind of rocking across your sacrum, remembering that rocking is very soothing to the nervous system. All right, and then we're going to circle our knees. Knees going together, so circling one direction. And then circling the other direction. Just noticing what this feels like in your back, your pelvis, the back of your pelvis. All right, and then right knee into the chest, left leg long on the floor. Roll out your feet, your ankles, get some mobility, some fluidity into your calves.
And then switch sides, left knee and right leg long on the floor. Same, wiggle your toes. Try to get all the parts of your feet to awaken. And then stretch both legs on the floor. Arms and legs are apart, away from the midline. Stretch and expand from your navel to your edges. And then exhale, draw your chin up. Hug in. You can always keep your head down for that if you don't want to bring it up. One more time, expand outward, arms and legs. Exhale, knees inward, chin in, chest in. And then relax your feet onto the floor. Take your feet as wide as your mat, and if you don't have a mat, that's okay, just a little wider than your hips. And we're just gonna start moving into some twisting here. So we're dropping our knees to the left. Stretch your right arm up overhead as you do this. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, over to the other side. Maybe you'd rather inhale when you come into the twist and exhale on the way out. You decide what feels most natural for your breathing, just going from one side to the other. Welcoming in some openness through the sides of your body. If you've been hunched over a computer all day, let's just notice the impacts of that in your body. All right, and then relax. Bring your knees back up, and we're going to open our knees apart from each other and then swing them back in. Go in the natural trajectory of your hip joint. So let the femur bone roll how it wants to in the hip joint as you bring your legs wider and closer. So for some people that might just mean out and in. Other people might have a more of a circly swoop to their range of motion. All right, and then take your left foot onto the ground. Grab your strap or your scarf or whatever you have and put your right foot up in the air in the strap. Lengthen through your spine, lift your shoulders and move them away from the ears. If you want to stretch your left leg on the floor, you can do that. You can also keep your left foot planted where it's at. Stretch up through your foot and root down through your hip. Extending through the spine. Maybe turn your head from side to side. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Have the strap low enough where your shoulders are soft. Now, if you have the leg straight, let's bend it again, your left leg, so your foot's flat on the ground. We're going to take the strap into the right side, open up your right leg to the right, and open your left knee to the left. So kind of balancing, cantilevering the weight of those two legs. Take a deep breath here. Just enjoy the inner thigh stretch, kind of wake up some muscles that might have been not moving much today, or in a closed space, like if your legs have been crossed over one over the other for a lot of the day. All right, and then lift that leg. You can bend it as you lift it, bring it back up. Now we're going to straighten our left leg on the floor, take the strap into the left hand and cross the right leg to the left. Open your chest again if you want to cactus your arm or straighten your arm. Turn your head to look out over that hand. Stretch into your right foot into the strap. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel. Keep moving your right hip away from your shoulder. All right, and then inhale and lift that leg back up in the air. Let's go ahead and put 2 feet in the strap. And then when you're ready, both legs straight up in the air. Notice how different they might feel. The left not as warmed up yet as the right. Extend the spine. Stretch through your feet. Root down through the pelvis. When you're ready, take your right foot out of the strap. Put your foot onto the floor or stretch your right leg long on the floor. You decide where is your better place to be. Finding your breath. Extending through your spine. Extending through your leg. Reach up through your foot. Reach down through your hip. Have enough give on your shoulders on the strap so your shoulders are relaxed. Soften the pillow of your heart down again into the lungs. Let your body rest on the floor. And then as we're ready, let's go ahead and bend our left knee. Put your foot flat on the ground again. We're going to take the strap into the left hand. Open the left leg out to the left. Let the bent right knee roll out to the right so that you butterfly your legs open a little bit, stretching through the straight left leg. Stretch into the strap, extend the spine. Of course, if this is not comfortable for you, you can always take your right leg straight on the floor instead. A nice little trick is to put your left elbow on the floor or even on a block or something if your leg's not down that far, so that you don't have to hold your leg. Let your arm do the work. And then inhale, lift that leg back up. Take the strap over to the right. Right leg is straight now. Cross the left leg over to the right. You don't have to go super far. Open up the left arm to a cactus or a T and turn to look out over that foot. Just finding a little openness through your neck. Stretch through the big toe and the inner heel. Move your hip away from your shoulder. All right, great. And then lift that leg back up. Again, 2 feet into the strap. We're going to bend our knees to the chest and then straighten both out. Extend through the spine, extend through the legs. Notice the low back and find a little gap under there. So a little anterior tip of the pelvis, let the tip of the tailbone drop into the earth a little bit so the low back just slightly pops up off the floor. And then 2 knees in. Take the strap away. Grab your feet. Come into happy baby pose. Rock around a little bit. If your feet are too far away to grab behind your knees and have yourself come there. Okay, so kind of like an upside down child's pose. Just see what your back feels like now as you stretch the back of your low back no longer is leaving the floor. You can let it roll into the floor. And then relax your legs down. Roll over onto your side and come onto your hands and your knees. Close your eyes, find your way back into your senses. See if you can melt through the eyes, melt through the ears, instead of letting your senses be training outward, trying to discover the outer world. What would it feel like to train the senses to listen inward, to sense inward, to see inward? All right, and let's start to feel the movement of the spine. Move through some cat-cows. So use the release of having to look outward through your senses and give that energy to looking inward. What does it feel like in your spine right now as you breathe and move, rippling between extension and flexion? Is there any place that you want to hang out in for a little while and stay? And then feel free to move anything around. You can sway your hips from side to side or do some circles through your pelvis. You can move your head around, your shoulders. Take your time to just move in any way that feels really nice. Let's take a simple twist here. So right arm lifting up to the sky. Slide that shoulder down. Be very gentle in the body. You can press a little bit through your left hand if you want something deeper, but try not to push deeper. Let the breath take you deeper. Enjoy what the sensations of the back of the body are like right now. Keep breathing. And then as you're ready, inhale and lift that arm back up in the air and place the hand down onto the ground. And let's change sides. Left arm lifting up. Exhale and slide that shoulder down. Drop into the earth. You can help to ground yourself by moving that right hand deeper. Keep breathing. See what it feels like to breathe into the back of the body. All right, and then inhale and lift that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground. 2 hands spread wide, 2 feet spread wide, fine dog pose. If you have a block and you want to put your head on a block, you can do that. Don't worry if you don't have any yoga blocks, just be in a sense of relaxing your head down. So you don't have to keep your head in line with your arms for this. If you want to let it drape a little bit, that's okay. See what that feels like. Make sure your neck feels neutral. Take the thigh bones back, extend through the side bodies. Full breaths in and out. Spread open the bones of your feet. All right, and then let's go ahead and come down onto all fours. Take your right foot on the floor behind you. Cross your right foot over to the left and turn and look out over your right foot, which is on the left side of your mat. Open up the side body, just feel that extension, you know, particularly the space between your ribs and your pelvis. And then come back to center. Come down to child's pose, stretch your hips back. Open up the back of the body. Feel free to rock around a little bit if it feels good. And let's come back up onto all fours. Left foot stretches back. Open your calf for a moment. Heart forward. And let's cross the left foot over to the right side. Square your hips and shoulders toward the floor. And then turn to look out over your left foot on the right side of your mat back there. Take a deep breath into the side rim of your body. And then come back to center. And let's come up to stand. There will not be much standing. This is just about all the standing we're going to do right here. All right, so reach your arms up in the air. We're going to grab onto the left wrist with the right hand. Find your way up and over, just feeling those side bodies open again. So just feel opening. See, so much of our day we shrink our side bodies, our arms are down, we kind of curl in on ourselves. So just notice what it feels like to open things up. And then let's come back to the other side. Take your left hand on your right wrist, up and over. Notice if your hip pops out. Can you see if you can keep stable through your legs, soft knees, root into the right foot. And then come back. Open your cactus arms out. Exhale and round in. Touch your forearms. One more time. Big open chest. Exhale and round in. Okay, shrug your shoulders up. And then lace them down. Take your feet a little bit wider than hip width, so maybe to the edges of your mat, and we're just going to swing. So just let your spine get loose from the day. You can flump your arms like this. If you want to be flumpy with your arms, you can have your arms stay out and swing. You can have your arms up. So just be in a place that is very supportive for the movement of your spine. Just working out some kinks. All the ways that we hunch and are still throughout the day. Let some movement be there. All right, come back into your senses one more time. Fold forward, come into Uttanasana. You can bend your knees as much as you want to. Find your breathing. You can wag your tail. You can wag your head. You can relax your shoulders. Maybe you want to grab onto your elbows and hang. Just enjoy a little bit of an inversion. Going upside down, head below heart is very soothing to the nervous system. All right, inhale for a halfway lift. Put your hands on your thighs again. And then exhale and melt back down. This time we come all the way to the floor. Okay. So we're going to just do a very simple back bend, opening our chest. Hands are going to go wide on the floor. So hands are nice and wide. Inhale and stretch open. Just stretch your chest a little bit. Stretch your belly. Stretch your legs. Keep the back of the neck long. And then exhale. We're going to roll over onto our left side. We're going to reach back and grab our right foot. And if you can't grab your right foot, you can wrap a strap around your foot and just flex your ankle so the strap will stay. And just open up your quad just a little bit. Tailbone toward the knees. Find your breath. There's a little bit of balance to be had here, so a little core stability is not a bad idea.
And then release that, and we're going to come over onto the right. Arm is underneath your head to support you. You can bend your knee that's on the floor, your right leg on the floor. Your knee can be bent for a little more stability. And then grab onto your left foot. You can hold your toes or around your ankle, or you can put a strap around your ankle so that you can reach. Okay. Tailbone reaching toward the knees. Slight lift of the pubic bone toward your belly so that you're stable. I don't know if you can see, but my cat's doing some restorative yoga with us too. All right, and then relax and go ahead and come back, come into child's pose. You can have your knees close or far. And we've kind of gone through some paces of just different opening in the body. So just notice, are you feeling more present in your body? Do you feel more grounded, more connected to being in your body? Have you been up in your head all day? Okay. Let's come onto our back. We're going to come into either, actually you don't have to go on your back if you want to do pigeon pose or reverse pigeon pose. So you can either come onto your back and put your right foot on your left knee and reach back and grab your knee or the back of your left thigh. That's reverse pigeon pose. Alternately, you can take your right leg forward and your left leg back and come into pigeon pose. If you're going to come into pigeon pose, make sure you have some props. So if you have yoga blocks or some blankets that you can rest your head on something, that's fabulous. The more we can soothe and soften the forehead, the more our nervous system releases. So feel that sense of surrender, even if it means putting your elbows on something and resting your head in your palms. So you choose reverse or pigeon pose, one or the other. How's your spine? Can you lengthen your spine? Just enjoy, especially if you're on your back, feel free to rock a little bit and just enjoy kind of sneaking into the hips a little bit, opening some things up. All right, feet down onto the ground. If you're in pigeon pose and you want to repeat that on the other side, come to repeat it. If you are in reverse pigeon pose or want to change to reverse pigeon pose, your left foot is on your right knee. Reach back, interlace your hands, your fingers behind your right thigh or on top of your right shin, whichever makes you feel better. So deeper is not better. Breathing is better. Relaxing is better. So if your shoulders pull away from the floor and your neck's all tweaked, back away. Remember, the best way, I forgot to say this on the other side, the bestest way to do this pose is to put your foot on a wall so that you cannot have to use your arms at all to stay here. And then your spine can be very relaxed. So however you're best suited for the task at hand, make sure your spine is long and you are breathing. If you're in reverse pigeon pose and want to move a little bit, you can move a little bit. And then relax that. This is the only seated posture that we're going to do. Everything else is going to be on our backs. Take your legs wide. Don't go to your absolute extreme. Okay, so for some people, leaning back might feel better in this pose. For others, you might be able to come forward. So a creative use of blocks is to have stacks, where you can kind of stack things up so you can still rest your head. If you have very flexible hamstrings, perhaps your body comes lower and you can rest your head on a block like this. Maybe you can even go to the floor, I don't know. So just see where you're at, but whatever you're doing, whatever props and things you're gathering up, see if you can rest your head on something. Feet are active, lift your kneecaps up toward your hips. Deep breaths. The most important thing you're doing here is resting your head. Allow your jaw to soften, your tongue to soften, drool a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and come out of there. If you have yoga blocks, okay, we're going to do heart bench. I'm going to show you a few different ways to go about this. If you have blocks, try putting one long ways in between your shoulder blades like this on the lowest height and the other one notch higher. So this is what heart bench looks like. Those of you who have taken my classes definitely know this pose. All right, so we're gonna rest like this. Now, if you don't happen to have blocks, somebody told me they used shoe boxes the other day for this. I can't imagine them not falling apart. Must have been very sturdy shoe boxes. So if you don't have blocks, that's okay. Fine. If you were in class, I don't know, recently I taught reverse cashew. That could be one that you choose. You can have one blanket and you can have another blanket, okay? So that one is right at your shoulder blades and the other is under your head. Okay, so be supported in this. Try not to drop your head way back. If you can have your head above your heart, that's one of the secret sauce of heart bench. So see what feels good. At the very least, have them in balance with each other at the same height instead of your head hanging back. Although this feels good for a lot of people, it's not quite as restorative as having your head a little bit supported. So find whatever props you're going to use. If you are using blocks, if you're lucky enough to have some yoga blocks and you are not comfortable, try adjusting the blocks a little bit. You can push the one under your back a little higher. Maybe that might help. Maybe it needs to go a little lower. Maybe you need to turn it in the other direction. Let your legs be so relaxed. Just let them be flumpy. Drop the shoulders, deepen the breath. So no matter your props, see if you can let the shoulders take a back seat to the heart. And that doesn't mean you have to push your heart up. The heart can be a leader without having to be aggressive or assertive even. It can just be present. Let the shoulder blades cascade a bit, falling. The heads of the arm bones falling. The head is supported so the neck can be so relaxed. What's happening with your breath here? What might it feel like to take a Satali breath here? Curl the tongue just once, maybe twice. Letting that cool, refreshing feeling move into your lung fields. Have your arms been in front of your chest all day? Chances are, yes, at least for a good portion of your day. Your arms have been the leaders. Melt the arms, let them fall into the earth. Put them anywhere that's comfortable. They do not have to be out at the sides. They can be down and close to your body. That might feel more nourishing to your shoulders.
I'm going to bring us out. You can stay in this pose a lot longer, but I just don't know what kind of props people are using underneath them, so I'm not guaranteed that this is comfortable for everybody. But know that this pose, is all the restorative poses are available to you. You don't have to wait till it's class. You can squeeze in a heart bench whenever you want. Okay, so let's roll over onto your side and come out of the pose. Let's sit for a moment. Sit on the edge of a blanket. And do some yoga with us. All right, so you can sit on the edge of a blanket and find the upright posture. And just notice, what did that back bend do for your posture? Do you sense that the arms can drape behind the heart a little bit? That the heart can be a leader without pushing forward? Can you feel the heads of the arm bones just drop in the shoulder sockets just a little bit? Feeling the shoulder blades move toward each other just a little bit. Not so much that you're squeezing anything, but just a new paradigm of what relaxed feels like. Take a few deep breaths here and melt the eyes. Soften into your senses. Soften your jaw, your tongue, your eyes, all around your eyes, your sinuses, your ears, and your skin. We're going to come back down onto your back. And we're going to set up for Supta Baddha Konasana, everyone's favorite. I hope it's your favorite. I hope it's one of your favorites. Okay, so if you happen to have yoga props, you can have the blocks like this now. So one lower, I feel like it got dark in here. One lower and one higher. Hopefully that lighting is a little bit better to see me. So one lower, one higher. And then a bolster or a couch pillow. And by a couch pillow, I mean like a sturdy couch pillow. If you don't have blocks and a bolster, you can take your couch pillow or blankets or whatever you have and set up your little nest. Okay, so it's helpful to have a ramp. So you can have, maybe you have one block, maybe you have a blanket, whatever you're finding. Okay, and you build yourself a ramp to lay back on. With your legs, so we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana, where the soles of our feet come to touch each other like this. So the soles of the feet are together like this. You can do crisscross, but the traditional pose is to have the soles of the feet together. Come against your ramp, and you can either have some folded blankets or pillows stacked underneath the outer leg, one for each side. If you only have one blanket left, you can open it up and roll it, creating a snake. And you can take that blanket over top of your feet and then tuck underneath your outer hips and your outer legs. Your knees are going to fall open like a butterfly. Okay? And once again, find that support. Okay, so adjust until you're very, very comfortable. So if you need to change anything, gather up all your goodies. Okay, so you can have your arms resting on pillows, so your forearm can be on something so it's not draped as low. Sometimes that can be very soothing, especially if you have a shoulder issue going on. Make sure that you don't kind of collapse, that the ramp behind you is supporting you. Make sure your head is above your heart and your heart is above your pelvis. Make sure your knees feel very supported. Your legs are not doing any work. They're fully supported. So now it's time to dip in. Make sure you're comfortable. Pause and adjust anything you need to make sure that you are as comfortable as one could be. Put your arms anywhere you want. Rest your legs. Let your legs fall into the support. See what it would feel like to breathe really low in your belly. You can even put your hands right at the deep low belly for a moment and tell your breath, come here, come here. Listen to the sounds that you're hearing. Let your skin drape on your body. Feel your skin. Can you feel where your clothes touch you? Can you feel the temperature of your skin? Can you let your skin loosen? Become a looser bag of bones. Okay. There's nothing taut. Can you notice the breath moving through your sinuses? Kind of swirling around all in the caverns of your sinuses. Does your brain feel relaxed? The actual organ of your brain, can you melt it? Is the base of your skull soft? Can you feel the muscles all around your eyes let go? Notice if stress has crept in at all. Just keep watching, observing your body and your breath. Cueing your nervous system that it's okay, all is well. You can relax. If your mind starts to journey somewhere in the past or the imagined future, just bring yourself back and back and back, over and over to the sensations of the body, the feeling of what the breath feels like moving through you, the surrender through your senses. If you have trouble keeping your eyes closed, that's okay. But just notice if there's a little element of vigilance about you that you can soothe. How would it feel to drape something over your eyes if you're struggling with resting your eyes? Bring your knees with your hands. Bring your knees together. Rest your feet on the floor for a moment. And then start to move some of your props away. Be careful because you're on a perch, so when you roll over onto your side, be very mindful. Push everything out of the way for a moment. We're going to come onto our back. Let the shoulders rest on the floor. I'm just going to take a simple twist to each side. So knees are bent, feet on the floor. Lift your hips and scooch them to the right a couple of inches. Bring your knees up toward the chest and drop them to the left. Take a deep breath. Turn your head to the right. Rest your body. Hold your legs with your hand. And as you're ready, we're going to lift our legs back up. Feet on the floor. Lift your hips. Scooch them the other way. Knees up. Drop them right. Open chest left. Turn head left. Deep breaths here. Long exhales. Remember how important breathing through the nose is. Breathing through some long exhales can be so supportive for calming, restoring the nervous system. All right, and then pick up the knees. Bring your knees into your chest and rock around a little bit. Just sway side to side. Your whole torso can sway, or maybe you just want your legs to sway. Be natural, easy. All right, now we're going to scoot toward a wall for leg up the wall. If you don't have a wall and you have a couch instead, I'll show you both. So if you have a wall, you can be on the edge of a blanket if you want, or you can be flat on the ground. And we're going to bring our body right up against the wall so our legs are straight up the wall. Once you're here, you can have your legs straight. You can come back into the pose we did earlier with our legs spread apart. You can take the soles of your feet together like the pose we did earlier. You can cross your legs. You can put your feet on the wall. You can have your legs up. Any combination. You don't have to stay in one. Now, if you're really tucking in for Shavasana 2, and this is the last pose we'll do before Shavasana, you can come, if you don't have a wall and you have a couch, or if you just prefer the couch, you can put your thighs against the couch and your shins, your calves, up on the pillow of the couch. And if you need a little height underneath you to have it just right, you can put a blanket underneath your pelvis too. So adjust. Props are around. So and you can take a blanket under your head. You can take a blanket under your shoulders or arms if your shoulders are bothering you. There's so many choices for how to be in this posture. Find your breathing. Okay, so as soon as you get into legs up the wall, melt your body as best as you can. Return to your senses one more time. Feeling your skin drape. Feeling the heart rest in the pillow of your lungs again. Feeling the brain recede away from the skull bones. Draping the outer corners of your eyes, letting them rest toward your ears. Maybe your mouth is open a bit, the tongue is soft. Feel your breath moving through your nose. You can begin to transition this posture into Shavasana whenever you are ready. Perhaps you want to stay here, and that's great. Perhaps you want to lie on your back on the floor with some support of pillows or bolsters underneath your knees. Perhaps you'd like to be on your side with some support in between your knees, under your head. So as you transition, find the postures that are most soothing to you so that you can really rest the body. Shavasana is a deep pose of absorbing our practice, of replenishing ourselves, nourishing ourselves. Just take your time and drop in. Once you feel settled on the floor, take a moment to drape your limbs, get heavy, make yourself like sand. Feel your spine drop into that space too. The belly is free, receiving and giving breath. The base of the skull is relaxed, the brain settling, draping away from the bones. Find your senses one more time. The skin soft and loose. The eyes restful behind your lids. The jaw free and soft. The tongue loose inside your mouth.
Begin to take some deep breaths again. Stay still, but just a little more present with the experience of the moment. May the touch of your skin register the beauty of the otherness that surrounds you. May your listening be attuned to the deeper silence where sound is honed to bring distance home. May the fragrance of a breathing meadow refresh your heart and remind you you are a child of the earth. And when you partake of food and drink, may your taste quicken to the gift and sweetness that flows from the earth. May your inner eye see through the surfaces and glean the real presence of everything that meets you. May your soul beautify the desires of your eyes, that you might glimpse the infinity that hides in the simple sights that seem worn to your usual eyes. Slowly begin to not only deepen the breath, but deepen some movement of the body. Maybe start with your little places, rubbing your thumbs across your finger pads or wiggling your toes. Feel free to move your head from side to side. If it feels good to just bring your knees into your chest, you can do that. If you need a little more invigoration, feel free to stretch the arms up overhead and take a deep breath. And then exhale, bringing your knees into your chest. And then go ahead and relax and come over onto your side. Using your arms to sit yourself upright. So take a moment to find a comfortable seat again, lifting your heart, feeling a sense of openness and freedom in your body, in your breath, in your mind. Let's bring our hands together at our heart. And with our open, wide open, compassionate heart, offer your prayers, your energy, your love outward to someone in particular, to everyone, everywhere, whoever you'd like. Namaste. I hope this prepares you for a peaceful evening, that there's deep rest coming soon for you. I'm going to unmute you so you can hear each other kind of coming out of your practice. Finding breath again. Yay! Yay for yoga.
Yay.
Yay, yay yoga.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you guys have a great evening. Yasmin, feel better. Everybody stay healthy.
Thank you, Jenny.
I'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Yes, it probably won't be long.
Tomorrow.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Love you.
Sweet dreams. I love you too. Sweet dreams.